last video. I'm going to do a DK tank guide for using two-handed weapons. And I've been on this server for a hot minute, and it's a PTR, by the way, and there's people saying, oh, you must dual wield if you're, Frost and you want to tank. It's like, no, listen. Frost, when I first started playing Lich King, there was builds with two-handed weapons, and you don't have to choose the talents that have freaking the one-handed build in it. Let's see if this guy... No, he's Unholy. Unholy's easier to get along with. There's a lot more in it that lets you get away with stuff. But you don't have to, I want to see what this guy's build is. Well, what the hell is this? Yeah, there's certain things you don't have to do, so let's talk about it. Yeah, you got to get these two first. And then this is kind of... I like this for dungeons and stuff. So if not, you should put a point into this if you have some people that don't kick in your groups. If you don't have anyone that can freaking kick, tell you what, I'm just going to redo this whole talent right now, actually. And we'll just do it in front of everyone live. So, let's see. Am I going any faster? No, I don't know. I hope I am. I would say as a DK, this is a lot like being, in your own home or in your own car. You're going to drive differently or whatever whenever I take something that was comfortable away from you and then I ask you to perform right now in front of everyone. And I adjust things differently. You might not perform. So understand that if you're a player that may like to casually play World of Warcraft, in my opinion, I think you should get a two-handed weapon because it's easier to get your hands on instead of dual wielding. You can dual wield, but I think the best dual wield setups are going to come from certain raids, and you're going to have to rely on the drop happening and stuff, and it's going to be blood sport to get it. So in my opinion, being comfortable with what you can get versus, what you're going to have to compete for, because it will be competitive. If you remember classic WoW, Viscag and Brutality Blade, it was, you had to have it, but the Warrior also wanted it too. Or the Rogue wanted it too. Perdition's Blade, Core Hound too, the same thing. People wanted all this stuff, and it was like, well, we got to give it to them. Versus me, my thought process is hey, I'm just going to make it. So that's what I've been doing. So let's do the two-handed build. And what I meant by, how comfortable it is, just knowing that if you are going to have to dual wield, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone of getting into the parts of, being very competitive for certain things like making the raids, a certain way and stuff. And it's going to be annoying. And in my opinion, if you just took the top 5 or 6 weapons that are available in a phase and any of the weapons that happen to drop, just take it. Because two-handed weapons require less hit rating. And they also do, in my opinion, well in Unholy. DPSing and Unholy, I think you should dual wield. This is just me saying this. I think you should dual wield if it's a good thing. But, again, it's going to be really annoying to get your hands on it because everyone else is going to want it too. So this is the build that I use. Now, you don't have to get toughness unless we know that we're progressing through stuff. Right now, everything should be on farm, so don't worry about it. We're not dual wielding. So we're going to get 4 points into it. Well, might as well just get 5. Why not? This build's going to be a little bit different. This is for... I'm going to pretend that we're with people that are idiots. If you know that you got people that you play with that are on the ball with kicking and stuff, so be it. Go get those points. Put 2 into those right there. This is really good for tanking if you know that people may or may not be... They got their head screwed on. So, I'm willing to not get the points into it. This is very, very good for DPSing when the boss is almost dead. It's a long fight or something. That's a very good ability, man. It increases the damage. You're going to want 3 points into that because as a Frost DK, It's really beneficial. This is for dungeons that you don't have, like, say, a hunter or a mage, and you got nothing but melee. If people are ripping threat off you and they're possibly going to die because they instantly pull threat, you can tell them to kite the mobs instead of being an idiot. Don't get this. This is for fun, but don't get it. I've been using it a lot, but seriously, just don't use it. At some point, there will be a question whether or not we need this or not. But for right now, this is what we're going to be doing. So this is a level 70 build. I just want to be very clear about this. Level 70 only. If you are a DK tank that thinks or feels that you need more time on your death grip, go get it. Otherwise, this is the build that I recommend. This keeps your frost fever and stuff longer, which is really good. 3 seconds is probably like all you need. Very good. And more strength. Strength is paramount for DK. That's what you need. You're like a warrior. You need strength. Later on, when you level up, get this. That way you have more threat. Alright, so let's do this thing, a DPS test in front of everybody. And I have not macroed everything to Rune Strike, but I think that Rune Strike is really good. It's just that it's going to take away all of your freaking... it's going to take away all your runic power, which you're going to need. So, I don't know. I think not macroing it to every ability, it might be prudent. I think that might be a good call. I'm just making sure I got everything because I took Hunger and Cold off. Yeah. Let's do a DPS tech. So around 922 DPS is what we're pulling.
I'm killing shit, no surviving, why so violent? I don't know. Asking stupid fucking questions, you know that's just how it goes. You know, lately things been moving kinda slow, I need it.
Alright, so I want to talk about what I was doing. So in the video on that DPS test, I was putting my dots up first, and then as I do a pestilence, and then I do a blood strike, and hopefully you get 2 death runes going. This is going to sound counterintuitive, but you want to have as many of your runes on cooldown. Hopefully everything is not being missed or, you know, it's resisted, whatever. You want all of your runes on cooldown because you are trying to get them all to come up at the same time. And as you need them whenever they're coming up, there's 3 different runes that we need. There's 3 different combination runes, as I want to call them. There's Death and Decay, Obliterate, because Obliterate uses 2, and we got Howling Blast. So we need to make sure that we can use them as we need to. So as we do that, and we don't have runes, but we have runic power, without wasting our runic power, that is, we're going to do some frost strikes. As we do frost strikes, we're going to be fishing for obliterate. Once it comes back up, obliterate is going to feed into rhyme. Where is it at? Rhyme. See that? Obliterate and casting obliterate has a chance to reset Howling Blast to consume no runes. This is amazing for frost tanking because when you're in the instances that have a ginormous pull and stuff and people don't give a shit about, the tank, it says all enemies. All enemies, frost is what it's going to hit it with. And it's going to be a free crit. Or it's going to just be free. You want this. This gives you time to be getting threat or the main tank. Or if you're the off, whatever it is. You can be the main tank. People are going to be able to get their abilities off. Without, frantically having to do something crazy. So that's all it is, man. You're dotting up the target. You're putting in a pestilence, and then you're putting in a blood strike. If that blood strike fails, you get another blood strike. Do some death rune conversions, and you're gonna have all your runes going. You want to have all your runes on cooldown. You're doing obliterate as much as humanly possible with the diseases on. That is, and you're gonna be getting those free howling blasts. Use the howling blast ideally when killing machine is up, so that way you get a free crit. And it's going to be good. If not, when you're single threading the boss, you're going to be using Frost Strike. I don't really have anything else. I think, in my opinion, that Orc and Troll is going to be really good for PvE. But there's also going to be people that are going to be like me and say something controversial and be like, I don't think it fucking matters. I don't know if it really matters. I think on some level it does, but, there's people on this PTR and they're proving it. They're saying that blood is the spec that you need to be, and that's just not true. So I'm watching what's going on around here, and I'm just kind of like in disbelief. But yeah, I just wanted to know what people thought. But I've been watching this PTR go down, and I think it's kind of funny because there's people that are trying to say that Frost can't tank the way it does. But if you see the logs, here. Whoops, this isn't the right logs at all. I got into a Karazhan where the tank DC'd on the first boss, so they killed it. It was a 50-minute Kara. I was the main tank, but it has me not written it down as the main tank at all. It has me written down as a DPS. Look at my damage done. It's not bad, because there's a boomkin that's right there. And under some fights, I'm like right underneath him. If you look at the damage taken, I'm it. I'm it right there. And I had an active time double over other people. I mean, look at some fights that it was like the dude just kind of stood still. 819 dB, not bad. Nether Spite. Almost 1,000 DPS. Let's look at what I was doing. Frost Strike. Doing a lot of damage. Obliterate. Doing a lot of damage. There was a lot of misses. I remember on this fight there was a lot of misses. But it didn't matter. I'm going to go to this fight. almost 900 freaking DPS. On this fight, I had a lot of misses. But look at my obliterates, man. I had 20 of them go off on Gruul. I mean, now two-handed is better, but I was dual wielding. I didn't know if I should or not because I was trying to threat the boss. Look at the damage taken. It's me. So, you know, just know that you're a DK, right? But you're like a blank canvas. You can be painted any way. You can tank in blood. You can tank in unholy. Unholy might not be the best at all. Frost, in my opinion, is the best spec to do threat per second. We want to do threat per second. All right, cool. Let's do it. So that's it. That's all I got. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you later.